Hello and welcome back once again to the Wrestling Group. I'm your host Ryan, and today we're going to be taking a little look and a little chat on Forbidden Door. So the pay-per-view is 2 weeks away, so it's going to be on the 24th of August on the Sunday. Obviously it's going to be over here in the United Kingdom. It's in London. So that means over here we get to watch the pay-per-view at 6 o'clock at night instead of 1 o'clock in the morning. So I'm really excited and happy about that. It means I haven't got to wait all day while I'm in work, staying off Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and everything else to make sure I don't see any spoilers so I can get back and watch it after work on the Monday. I don't have to do all that because I can watch it live at 6 o'clock, which is obviously our tea time in the UK. So the problem I have with Forbidden Door at the moment is, like I say, it is 2 weeks away, but where is New Japan? Where are the New Japan wrestlers? Where's the talent? Like, obviously normally Forbidden Door's earlier in the year. It's normally before the G1. So obviously we've got the G1 going on at the moment, so everyone's tied up doing that. But we're not even announcing names. We could even do video packages at this point or, something. The matches that are being announced are just AEW versus AEW, which we could have at any pay-per-view. We could have really had All Out first. We could have had AEW All Out with all these matches. And then we could have had Forbidden Door instead of All Out, so switch the two pay-per-views around. Because what you're looking at the moment is we've got Tony Storm versus Athena for the AEW Women's Championship. Kazuchika Okada versus Swerve Strickland for the Unified Championship. You got Hurt Syndicate versus the winners of FTR and Brodido, which is probably going to be Brodido because, they're the face team. And then you've got the women's match, which is the Fatal 4-Way, which is going to include CMLL and Stardom Talent, so at the moment, out of 4 matches, there's only one that's going to be, that is announced, that has outside of AEW wrestlers in, and they've not even been confirmed who they are yet. So I expect, obviously, for us to have AEW versus AEW. Obviously, we've got storylines going on and stuff at the moment. It looks like Jon Moxley versus Darby Allin's going to be confirmed as well. For Forbidden Door, Darby's laid out the challenge. You expect that to be accepted by Mox. He's not exactly going to not accept that. But then you've got, so that'll be 5 matches? Probably going to get MJF versus Hangman Page as well, so that'll be 6. So what do we normally get on an AEW card? Like 9-10 matches. I feel like we're just going to end up with a couple of tag matches involving New Japan. I don't even think it's going to be like 6-man tag matches or something. Like, I know obviously Hiroshi Tanahashi said that he's going to be wrestling his last ever match in the UK. Obviously Tanahashi's doing his retirement tour at the moment, so obviously he's just been in the G1. But I'm worried that we're just going to get a random tag match that doesn't really matter or mean anything. Rather than a one-on-one, I'd rather see him face someone in a one-on-one match. If it's his last ever match in the US, probably going to be his last ever match in AEW as well. I think, if I remember rightly, he retires at Wrestle Kingdom, which is obviously next January. That's when he's looking at retiring, so it's probably going to be his last match wrestling for AEW as well. So I prefer it to be a singles match. I don't know, it's just, I've got to the point now where obviously, like, Forbidden Door for me, I've always enjoyed it. Like, I'm a big fan of New Japan, I'm a big fan of AEW. The problem, obviously, we've got is AEW has bought up most of New Japan's top talent. Obviously, we've got Kazuchika Okada, Jay White, the likes of these coming in to do, obviously, the odd matches originally, and then signing Will Ospreay. Another massive talent that was New Japan only. So they've come in, obviously worked for doing the Forbidden Door, and then obviously they've signed to AEW and the contracts have finished with New Japan. So obviously that has taken its toll on New Japan. Like, they don't have a lot of top talent left. There's no reason Zack Sabre Jr. couldn't defend his IWGP Championship against someone. We've seen a couple of years ago, Sanada defended his against Jack Perry. John Moxley was the IWGP champion last year, and he defended against Tetsuya Naito. And then on the card, we still had the likes of, obviously, Mercedes Moné versus Stephanie Riquet. She was CMLL, and she also was New Japan as well. That was the New Japan Strong Championship. Obviously that was before she went to WWE. We have Bryan Danielson versus Shingo Takagi. So there's just, I know it's a couple of years in, so it's harder to find matches that we haven't seen yet. And like I say, New Japan doesn't have a hell of a lot of top talent. I also feel like Gabe Kidd getting injured, that obviously threw a spanner in the works, because he's been working alongside the Death Riders, so I'd expected him to have done something with the Death Riders there, or even Eddie Kingston. If Eddie Kingston would have returned, we know he's back in the ring in training, and obviously he's got the beef with Gabe Kidd, because it was in the Gabe Kidd match that he got his bad injuries. But like, even with the tag team tournaments, like, the tag team tournament's been enjoyable to a point. We've had the whole stuff with the Young Bucks is continuing their story, which has been great. It's been funny. With obviously the, like, jobless, not jobless, the like, what's they called, jobbers now, aren't they? Doing the whole Max and Jeremy book and the old flashback of Generation Me and stuff. But I actually feel like you could have put a tag team or two, even a New Japan tag team or two, in this tournament, and it just hasn't happened. But like I say, it's looking like it's going to be Mox versus Darby is going to be announced. It looks like Hangman versus MJF, or they might go MJF versus Mystico, and that would technically be like Forbidden Door, because obviously Mystico wrestles for CMLL mainly. But I don't know, I just feel like this year it's just lacking a bit. I've already purchased it. I'll always buy it. Always buy the AEW pay-per-views, and like we've always said, AEW pay-per-views don't miss. It's just the concern I have for this is, the Forbidden Door originally was built on AEW versus New Japan, and now we're 2 weeks away and we don't have any New Japan talent booked in a match yet. It just makes me worry. We're coming to the end of the G1. That's going to be next week, and then I feel like we're just going to get a week's worth of probably random tag matches thrown together. So yeah, I'm actually not feeling the hype on this one at the moment. Like I say, the matches are going to be brilliant. Obviously Swerve versus Okada is going to be a great match. We know that. Athena versus Tony Storm, they're probably two of the best women's wrestlers in the world right now. So that's going to be a great match. If Hangman versus MJF again, that's obviously going to be a great match. They're all going to be great matches. It's just, we could have done all this all out and it just be AEW, and then obviously when the G1's finished and then we have the talent there to be used, we could have then created AEW versus New Japan like we have done so many times before. Like, there's been so many great matches over the years where we've had the cross between the two promotions that could have continued, and I don't know, it just feels a bit of a downer on it, to be honest, that we haven't got any New Japan talent in. I mean, like say, there is 2 weeks, and the way Tony just announces matches now, we could still get 3 or 4 bangers announced where it's New Japan versus AEW, but obviously as of right now that isn't the case, and we're just getting AEW matches, which, like I say, we could just have an AEW pay-per-view. So, I don't know, that's my 2 pence on the Forbidden Door situation at the moment. 2 weeks away, and where is New Japan? That's what we've got to ask ourselves. So, like I say, just my 2 pence worth. So, let me know, obviously, your thoughts and feelings. Do you think maybe the timing of the G1 Climax has hindered, obviously, the matches that can be announced? Or let us know what you think on the fact that obviously there's not any New Japan talent confirmed as of yet. Well, we know Tanahashi will be doing a match, but we don't know what match. So, like I say, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and as always, don't forget to like, drop us a comment, and of course, subscribe to the wrestling group today.